In the global context of increasing transnational labour mobility, millions of people travel across borders for better job opportunities. Nevertheless, challenges persist when it comes to protecting migrant workers' rights and preventing abusive recruitment practices. To tackle these challenges, the engagement of businesses and the private sector is essential to advancing fair recruitment for the benefit of all actors in the world of work. My name is Laura Green. I'm the coordinator for the ILO Global Business Network on Forced Labour, and welcome to the ILO Masterclass on Fair Recruitment. Fair recruitment and the respect of human rights is the job of every actor in the world of work. It is also the case for businesses and private employment agencies. In 2011, the UN Human Rights Council endorsed the UN Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights. This is the first global framework for preventing and addressing the risk of adverse impacts on human rights linked to business activity. In the same line, further guidance on implementing fair recruitment and protection of human rights is established in the ILO Declaration on Fundamental Principles and Rights at Work, the Forced Labour Protocol, and the Sustainable Development Goals. In 2016, the ILO governing body approved the General Principles and Operational Guidelines for Fair Recruitment, highlighting the responsibilities of employers and agencies to respect human rights in recruitment practices. Of course, fair recruitment is beneficial to every actor in the world of work and fosters the human rights of workers. In particular, for businesses, fair recruitment provides the following benefits. Fair recruitment positively impacts performance at work. It fosters better skills matching and employee retention. Also, from an income perspective, it is more efficient in the long run for employers to pay for fair recruitment fees than the cost of unfair recruitment. It improves the positioning and reputation of business by complying with international labour standards. And of course, businesses that promote fair recruitment become a leading example and increase their credibility towards clients, customers, and communities. Enterprises encounter many challenges when implementing recruitment practices. For example, when we have a look at the legislation enforcement in countries of origin and countries of destination, the ratification and implementation of the international labour standards may vary, the quality of legislation and enforcement mechanisms also varies, and the differences between legislation in the countries of origin and destination. Secondly, the complexity of recruitment procedures and lack of transparency mean that, on the one hand, labour recruitment is sometimes complex due to the number of actors involved, and on the other hand, it can be difficult to identify unscrupulous recruiters. Enterprises can deal with recruiters that seem to be ethical, but in reality they are not. This is why due diligence processes are really important. Additionally, recruitment fees and related costs are illegally charged to workers, and this is another persistent challenge. Finally, the combination of these challenges in the everyday changing recruitment landscape makes it difficult for businesses to identify the fair recruiters. In general, fair recruiters always respect the applicable laws and fundamental principles and rights at work. However, the legal framework might not always be sufficient to ensure fair recruitment practices. Broadly speaking, there are three main practices that fair recruiters have in common. Firstly, they focus on quality deployments. Secondly, they don't charge recruitment fees or related costs to workers. And thirdly, they play an active role in voluntary initiatives such as industry codes of conduct. As mentioned earlier, every actor in the world of work has its responsibility to address unfair recruitment and forced labour. On the one hand, governments have the duty to adopt, implement, and enforce national laws and regulations. On the other hand, businesses have a responsibility to respect human and labour rights in their operations and supply chains, and to comply with national laws wherever they do business. Businesses can promote fair recruitment by participating in social dialogue. The participation of the private sector in social dialogue is essential to the development of well-regulated migration systems. Employer and business membership organizations and companies can influence public policies and government plans aiming to improve regulatory frameworks. Also, businesses can establish self-regulation mechanisms and conduct risk assessments. Self-regulation is a complementary effort to national legislation and law enforcement to protect workers' rights and to balance the interests of employers and businesses. Here is where due diligence has an important role to play. Due diligence processes supports employers, labor contractors and subcontractors to promote compliance with the principles of fair recruitment and to prevent rights violations to ensure the company is addressing forced labor risks and aiming for the enterprise's operations to be free from forced labor. Due diligence is applicable to all types of businesses in the recruitment process, and in some cases it can even be an integral part of regulation. Due diligence is dynamic, meaning that it includes a feedback loop so that enterprises can learn from what has not worked and what has worked. In particular, we can identify the following elements of due diligence in fair recruitment processes. Firstly, developing an internal policy on fair recruitment. Secondly, determining the risks of human rights violations in the recruitment processes. Thirdly, responding to these risks by taking action and addressing the risks. Fourthly, monitoring the situation, communicating results and noting areas for improvement. Finally, remediating any harms which may have inadvertently occurred. Many initiatives, such as multi-stakeholder and employer-led initiatives, currently support the private sector to be active in fair recruitment. These initiatives also often include codes of conduct or guidelines. One such example is the ILO Global Business Network on Forced Labor, which is supported by Reframe. Furthermore, some key multi-stakeholder initiatives include the United Nations Global Compact, the International Recruitment Integrity System from IOM, and the ISRO Institute. In the same line, initiatives led by recruiters such as the World Employment Confederation, which adopted their code of conduct in 2006, or initiatives led by employers such as the Responsible Business Alliance, all have a very important role to play. Finally, there are various relevant tools and guidelines that have contributed to supporting the private sector in ensuring fair recruitment practices. In conclusion, every actor in the world of work shares the responsibility to promote fair recruitment. This is also the case for the private sector. Companies and their representative organizations should implement due diligence processes to contribute to the protection of workers' rights and to prevent abusive recruitment practices. At the same time, by promoting fair recruitment, companies and recruitment agencies can obtain important benefits by increasing performance, productivity, reducing costs, and improving the company's overall positioning and credibility with its stakeholders. Fair recruitment is beneficial to every actor in the world of work. Therefore, the commitment of all actors involved in the recruitment process is essential.